السلام عليكم ورحمة الله، يا أهلا وسهلا بأفخم متابعين بالعالم. شركة أودي وعشاق أودي شافوا بالفترة الأخيرة أنه ممكن نتحول للكهرباء، ولكن اليوم أنا مع شخص راح يطمنا على مستقبل أودي وراح يعطينا هيك نظرة شمولية أكثر على الفورمولا 1، على الأودي سبورت بشكل عام، وعلى السيارات الكهربائية والأجيال القادمة، وعلى طريقة نظرتهم كيف يتوسعوا بأسواقنا وشو أكثر موديلات بتنباع في أسواق منطقتنا. حديث اليوم راح يكون مع المدير التنفيذي لشركة أودي الشرق الأوسط، سيد رينيه. Thank you very much for having me, René.
Thank you so much for having me, actually. It's fantastic.
My great pleasure. I want to start with you, René. First, welcome back to Dubai. I know you've been here, you moved somewhere, then you came back. We're going to go through that in a few minutes. But I want to know from you first, where are we now? This is like, which building we are in and why there is always an Audi in this exact location, in our location.
Very good question. So this is the Museum of the Future, which actually I love the building. It's fantastic, I have to say. And we from Audi Middle East have a cooperation with the Museum of the Future. It's actually our third year, and we invested a lot into the cooperation. So we bring every 4 months a new car here, and the car is kind of like a show car. And one of the show cars which you see here is actually the Active Sphere, which you see in the back.
In the black color.
It has fantastic black rims, yeah, if you look at it. And bringing these show cars is not something super easy. You have to actually, they are coming in their own container. There's an own team who's bringing these people
Bringing
here.
it directly from Germany.
Bringing directly from Germany. And I had the pleasure actually when this car came in, I had the pleasure to see it, how it comes in here.
I've had an experience.
You had an
similar to
experience.
yours. Yes, I was here with the team behind the camera and we came a few years back with a concept car. I think the guys now, they will add some footage. People who's watching on YouTube, you will see some footage for the same experience as René is explaining. But to me, to understand more, Museum of Future, 3 years of partnership. It's exclusive partnership with an automotive manufacturer. This is something coming out from Audi Middle East or also Audi Global? Because you're telling me now for the past 3 years, you guys are working on showcasing all your concepts cars for the future and showing the DNA of design for Audi on public in this location. Why Dubai? Why future of museum? And can you give me more, like, I know it's very costly for this kind of partnership. So can you give me some more insights around that?
Of course, yeah. So of course Dubai is a mega city, world city, a lot of things happening here. And also I think the future, we have the same view. The Museum of the Future and Audi, we have the same view. We want to showcase actually future technology and bring it to people. And if you think about the Active Sphere here, there are only 4 spheres in the whole world. And 3 of them have been here. And they are showcasing the newest technology, which we will bring in 1 or 2 years' time, maybe in 5 years' time. But they are showing the newest technologies. And the Active Sphere here, if you look at it, it's actually a coupe, more or less. Yeah, it's an SUV and a coupe. But then at the same time, it has actually in the back kind of like it transfers into a pickup. So you can use the car ideally for Dubai. You can use it if you would go to the beach. You put in the back kind of like wakeboards or something like this. Or if you go to Al Qudra, where I'm going also sometimes. Cycling. So you put the cycling inside. So that's one part. But the other part is also, if you think about how are cars designed now, and there's a big shift, more or less, how the cars are designed, and we want to showcase this here. The cars are now designed from the inside to the outside, and that's the reason why this car is also called Sphere. Sphere means inner place. So you look at the customer needs, what is really the customer would like to have, what are their needs, and then you are starting to design the vehicle. That's
based on that.
Based on that. That's one part. The other part is, you call it software developed vehicles. So what you do is actually you develop the software first, and this car has it also inside. So you have holograms, you have kind of like touch, you can still touch, but you have also with a vision, with the glasses, you could start the cars completely autonomous driving if you want to. Yeah, the whole dashboard is actually moving outside, and you can use the space really and relax inside and go autonomous to the beach, for example. And this is what we try to showcase here, and that's the future. That's the reason also yeah, museum of the future that
Showing
merges,
the future.
showing the future.
These cars cost a fortune.
Yes.
Do you have like an approximate number for the cost of this module specifically?
That's over $1 million.
Over 1 million.
Million
Euro.
Over 1 million euro or US dollar. Yeah. These prices actually they can go up tremendous. Why?
To what tremendous?
Well, it's unspeakable more or less.
Where more technology inside it, more R&D,
and
hosting.
And it's all handmade. It's more or less handmade, and the technology which is inside, some part of the technology we are testing, yeah. And but in principle, it's a unique piece, and that's the reason why it's so unique and so expensive, and that's the reason why we are also taking care of it very well. So after this vehicle here, then I mentioned before, so there are four fairs in the whole world, and it's the first time that all of them will be here. Meaning we had already 3. So
From
that's
which month
that's
to
the
when?
third.
Which month?
So they are usually the vehicles are usually here 4 to 5 months, and now this one will go, and in July actually we will have the Grand Fair, and this will be staying then till next year. And then we had all the 4 fairs. We had them here in Dubai, and this is very, very unique for Audi to do so.
And usually these cars will go back to Germany, to the headquarters, where it will be hidden until it shows like in big car shows or auto shows or IAA, for example, exactly. Stuff like this. Exactly. Okay, so there is a good chance, Audi fans, Audi lovers, there is a big chance to see 2 sphere models that will represent a little bit of the future of Audi as a brand here in Dubai. Anyone who's living in UAE, شباب لا تضيعوا الفرصة، فرصة ممتازة انكم تشوفوا كيف الجماعة بفكروا. هاي السيارة رح نطلع لكم اياها من زاوية، بس صدقا السيارات لما تيجي وتشوفها امامك رح تنصدم. I have to explain this in Arabic because I need to get the point completely. René, when are we going to see these 4 spheres into? You were expecting my question to be like this. We've seen recently the A3. We had a review about it. We've seen the Q6 e-tron. I've seen it last year, but I think quite soon we will be uploading our video, our review. And I've seen, we've driven the RS6, RS7. I know there is an e-tron shifting into the company. I want to hear it from you. What's the models in the market now? And when are we going to see some inspiration from these 4 spheres into the new generations of Audi? Okay.
The first inspiration you will get actually, and you mentioned it, it's the Q6 e-tron. So this vehicle is actually built on the PPE platform, which is the premium platform for electric cars. And it's built by Audi, the platform, and this car actually stands on the platform. And the Q6 e-tron will be the first car which we are introducing here to the market, and it will come in Q4 this year. This year already.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And this will be a milestone actually for us. First of all, it's a electric car, it's a PPE platform. But I think with this car, the firework of new products will start here in the Middle East. Because fireworks. I tell you, it will be a firework. So we are now in a phase of renewing the whole product portfolio. In the next 2 years, we are bringing 20 new models to the Middle East. 20.
With the Q6 e-tron?
With the Q6 e-tron, it's starting.
Okay.
Out of the 20 vehicles, 10 vehicles are BEV.
E-trons?
E-trons.
Half from the 20?
Yes. If you look at the 20s in total again, also half of it will be Audi Sport. So you will have actually partly BEV with Audi Sport and partly petrol with Audi Sport also. So I would say it's a very, very balanced product portfolio for the region here. And the firework will start already this year. So this year we brought already to the market here, to the UAE, newly was the Q2, which was newly introduced. It wasn't here before. Then we will have the Q7 and the Q8, product improvement we call it. It's coming, facelift.
Not an all new.
All new, facelift.
Q8, Q7.
Then we will have the, which you probably find also very interesting, the RS6 GT coming in August.
RS6.
RS6 GT coming in August, and There are only 660 pieces produced worldwide, and 20 are coming to the region
Middle
here.
East.
Then we have
It's more horsepower, more performance.
Exactly. Then we have.
How more?
Have you ever driven an RS6?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I've driven RS6, and I've driven the RS6 Performance.
It's my most favorite car, the RS6. RS6 Avant. I love it. Okay. So then we have the A3 PI also coming. Then the Q6, and this is only this year. The Q6 e-tron is coming, and then we have the RS3 also coming this year. And then you have beginning.
These are all new.
All
RS3, I think we've seen the design on the A3 and S3. So RS3 ICE engine.
Yes.
Not e-tronized yet.
No.
It will be a yet, or it will be balanced ICE EV.
It will be balanced.
For how long?
It will be balanced. I think this is, in the major aim, what Audi would like to do or is doing is in 2027 that we will have in all the major segments, we have an ICE and we have a BEV. So the customer can choose actually between the
based
different.
on your market.
Based on the market, yes.
But so now we're not talking about killing the ICE engine anymore. We're talking about redeveloping the ICE engine.
In general terms speaking, so the last engine which we are developing is kind of like 26 roundabout, and then the engine will run, of course. Yeah. The philosophy is, and I think if you look at how the markets are developing, you have, and you asked me before, sort of like I have been working in different areas in the whole world.
I'm coming back to that.
You're coming. So just if you look at on my last job, I was working in Europe at the headquarter, and if you look at Europe as a big market, you have a very different markets. Let's put it this way: you have Norway, where you have 95% of
EV.
vehicles sold is BEV. You have also, let's say, southern part, which is Turkey, and in Turkey the
Zero
BEV.
EV.
Oh, it's not zero, but it's very, very small. So you have what you have actually in the whole world is that you have markets. Some markets are developing much faster towards BEV. Some markets are developing slower. And for the Middle East, I can see sort of like through the product portfolio, we have quite a balanced way. So for the customer is ideal. The customer can choose whatever vehicle he would like to have, either a petrol or a BEV. And that's, I think,
and
fantastic.
Depends, even here, the market itself in the Middle East, and especially, actually, it's a good turn of events to ask you about your experience in Middle East. I know that we'll come back. You've been here before. You worked here before, and then it happened for you to get promoted to go to China, and then South Korea, and then headquarter, and you're here back to the Middle East, but completely with a different position. I want to hear it from you as someone who already had all the experience from the Chinese market, where I believe personally it's a very complicated market. So if you managed, I want to do a comparison between Chinese market and our market, and what do you think of our market currently compared to your previous experience? Early 2000, you were here 2004. Yes.
2004 till 2008, yes. I was here.
You were in a completely different era, 20 years back here, yes, and yes. I want to understand, how do you view the market now?
Yeah, I think the time has changed a lot, of course. I could see the massive development of Dubai, but one big part of what I see is also development of the customer. And that's something where I can see a lot of change, and I think customer is for us extremely important. Customer focus and customer dedication. And there I can see a lot of change in customer behavior. So when I came here, a lot of things have changed in 20 years. So I just said to the guys here in the office, I said, look, I want to understand really what are the customer demands in the region here. And the region, because you were saying China.
I want to compare it to China.
Yeah. China is a massive market, of course. China is, we are selling around about 800,000 cars there. it's massive. And you have, of course, you have an extreme push also towards BEV. But if you look at the region here, the region for me is not only one country, it's actually 9 different markets. And if you look at the
they
9,
have different,
they have
different tastes, different models.
Exactly. And I think this is what I wanted to know.
And each country perceiving Audi different than the others.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
this is why it's really interesting.
And
it's very similar to the Chinese market when it comes to like cantons, like it's a Shanghai region compared to Beijing region, like provinces.
Yes.
Is it similar? I want to know personally. Is it similar to this in the Chinese market, the differentiation between, for example, UAE market and Qatar or Kuwait or Bahrain or Saudi Arabia or Jordan or Egypt, for example? Is it similar, or here it's more complicated?
I think, to be honest, it's very difficult to make a comparison, because in China you have also the Mongolei, which is in the northern part, and then you have the south, Guangzhou, and this area. So there are differences there. But to be honest, the differences here are, like you mentioned, Jordan, for example, are very, very much. You have a lot of differences here. And the reason being is, in Jordan, for example, if you look also at the automotive market, you have a lot of BEV there. There's a high share of BEV. If you look at Saudi, for example, the share of BEV is not so much. If you look at the customers, so out of the study which I mentioned, which we did actually last year, we did a study, and I wanted to know what are the customer differences and the customer behavior here in the Middle East. So we looked at 4 countries. We looked at Saudi, we looked at Qatar, and we looked at the UAE, Dubai and Abu Dhabi. And we looked at the customer journey. We wanted to understand how the customer journey has been changed, and what are
these 4 countries.
In these four countries, and what are the differences? Are there differences, or maybe there are no differences? Actually, there are differences there. So just to give you a glimpse of the study, I cannot tell you everything, but some of the things we saw, for example, that in the UAE, the customer, in general terms speaking, likes or has a higher percentage that they wanted to drive the car before they're doing the purchasing. So we did.
This is in UAE.
That's in UAE. If you look at the customers in Saudi or in Qatar, they have a tendency of, for them it's very, very important that the purchasing process is very, very smooth and easy. They don't want to have a lot of paperwork. So there are differences, regional differences between the different countries.
They don't only keen to drive the car, they prefer if it's an ease in the process.
Exactly.
In Qatar.
In Qatar, for example.
In Saudi.
In Saudi, yeah. So you have, just at these examples, you have a lot of regional differences.
Is it only coming from customers, or only there is like the dealer also? Since the dealership these are the middlemen. Do you feel like all the dealers are pushing for Audi as a brand in the same way that you look for? Like sometimes you have dealers where they're taking extra mile with the service, and there is other dealers where no, so they will keen towards like, no, I want to push a little bit only. Do you see this?
We have a very long-term partnership with all our partners here, and that was actually interesting. When I came back, I knew all of the partners.
They're the same people.
They're pretty much the same people. And it was for me kind of like
Audi,
to move in straight away.
It was kind of like
back
immediately.
It was like a family.
Yes,
So our partners are very long-term partners, and we know each other for a very long time, and they are actually a very good representation of our brand here in the region.
Nice. And for you, René, going back to your career, so China, then South Korea. Can you like give me some glimpses here and there from this journey? I want to hear it more. This is an interesting market, and I know people who succeed over there, they can make it, I think, anywhere else. Like I don't know. This is how I feel about these 2 markets. So I want to hear it from you. How do you describe that experience?
So in China, I was responsible for more or less the brand positioning and marketing. And the interesting part there was that the brand is a little bit positioned different than in the rest of the world.
So long wheelbase.
So yes,
even with the A3, it's a
long wheelbase, exactly. So we looked into establishing a couple of new formats. So I opened up in Beijing the Audi City, which was at the time a completely new sales format. And the Audi City was a completely digital showroom. So you had huge, big digital screens where you can see actually the car in a one-to-one base. And we tried these kind of different sales formats in China, and it was very, very well accepted. The other part I did was there I was establishing a racing series, which was the Audi R8 LMS Cup called. Now, both of these elements, the interesting part.
It wasn't there before you?
No, it wasn't there.
Series.
No, the racing series.
That was your baby.
Yeah, I established it. Yeah, and both of these parts are helping me sort of like to do the business here now. Just talking about China and comparison. Yeah, if you look at the dealerships which we have here and the showrooms, and I mentioned before, customer first. Customers for us important, customer centric and focused. So we opened up new showrooms in different formats. Like for example in Saudi, we opened up the House of Progress, which is in a shopping mall, and it's a new format. It's not sales orientated. It's more an area where you can meet and mingle, where you can expose to the Audi products, but it's not sales focused.
Inside a mall, a shopping mall.
Inside a mall, yeah. And we will open up in Qatar, which is very soon. We will open up another showroom, and that's also in a showroom, in a shopping mall, but this will be a sales outlet. So we are trying different formats, which I learned also from the previous experience I had in China.
This is something you're introducing?
Yes,
via the distributors.
Yes. With the distributor together, of course, but we are bringing sort of like the concepts here. So that's one part. If I have also a link from the motorsport or Audi R8 LMS Cup, the experience there.
So with your experiences before with the R8 LMS in China, you're definitely working on something with the motorsport here in our region, other than entering the shopping malls with the distributors. Definitely there is, because I want to ask you more about the motorsport. So please.
Thank you. So Project Formula One is the Audi.
This is in 2026.
2026, yeah. Audi.
It's really excitement, and
my heart is going like this.
Like in a good way.
In a good way. I love it. I love motorsport.
That's a big step for Audi to join the Formula One, and I think since in our region we have 4 rounds, so Formula One is grabbing a lot of attention. So how do you see the link between Audi and coming back with motorsport? You guys have been running the 24 hours for quite a while. You did several even electric Extreme E, I think, in Saudi, but I think they paused it recently. And now with Formula One, how do you see the future? Where is the link? How do you view it from your perspective, René?
For me, it's actually natural, because you mentioned it also. You mentioned Le Mans. So Audi, we were very successful in Le Mans. We tried there the technology, also hybrid technology, very, very successful. Then if you think about it, we went into Formula E. We won also the team championship here in the Formula E. Yeah. Then next step was Dakar. First time with the electric vehicle winning the Dakar. Yeah. And now, sort of like the natural step would be to go into, or is going into Formula One. Why Formula One? Also, if you think about the technology is changing. There's a new regulation in 2026 coming up. If you look at the recipe of the Formula One in 2026.
You guys have more cards now.
No, I wouldn't say cards, but
more technology that it makes perfect sense to be investing this amount of money into Formula One. It's because, Formula One is really costly. I mean, it's a huge investment.
Yeah, but then Formula One, it's also kept, the budget is kept in a way. And concerning technology, in 2026, so you have synthetic fuels which you're using. You have still sort of like, of course, battery power inside, so you can use these technology, these elements to kind of like have a more sustainable racing. Yeah? Plus, I think it's inherited in our history more or less to go racing and to have Audi Sport. Audi Sport is part of our DNA. With the Sauber team, which we are inquiring having in the future 100%. So I think also the setup is a very, very good setup. And you mentioned it also, 4 races. 4 races are here in the region. So actually, there are not a lot of regions. I actually don't know any region, if you don't take Europe now, but any region who has 4 races. And we had, it will change a little bit, but we had the last 2 races and the first 2 races. The first 2 races will move now because of Ramadan, but that's very unique. So I'm extremely excited about our engagement in Formula One or Project Formula One.
So René, after hearing from you today about motorsport, the coming new models, can you give me more status on current cars now in the market? Yeah. Numbers, where Audi is performing good, distributors, like can we rank the distributors, which one is like number 1 in terms of sales at least? Can we do that?
So I give you some figures.
Yeah. So not precise figures. Yeah. No, give me rank. Tell me, so for example, Qatar is selling more A8, for example. I don't know. Saudi crossovers, SUVs are doing amazing. Q2, Q5, Q8. At least give me a glimpse on how the models are in the region.
Yeah. So coming from, let's look at. So I started here in the region in 2023. End of 2023. I came to the region here in September. So let's start quickly 2023. So 2023 was our best year since 2015. And best year since 2015, and we grew by 6%. So that was the setting. So this year now, if I just look at the figures from the last 4 to 5 months, we grew extremely in limousine, sedans. So
with the A8?
A3 actually, A3 and A6, 25%. We had a plus towards last year. Q8 each one grew by 60%. There are actually a lot of models. Q2 now, which we just recently launched here.
Recently.
Yeah, in Qatar, in Saudi, in Saudi already launched, has a big success. Of course also some models like, unfortunately, the ending of the R8, but the R8 is also really going very well. So we have a lot of segments where we see a huge big plus already in the first 4 months. Now looking then further into what I mentioned before, the cars which are coming, so we see actually that this year I see that 2024 will be a very successful year.
More than 6%. 10%.
I can't give you a number.
Don't give me a number. Okay. I don't want to push for that.
We will be successful, yes.
Wish you guys the best of luck. Modules, like you've mentioned Q2. In Saudi market, what's the best-selling Audis?
Yeah. The general term speaking, let's look at last year again. Yeah, last year the best-selling Audi was Q5 in the whole region. Yeah. And in general terms speaking, if you look at the Q models are representing between 40 and 50% of our total sales.
Q
from
models.
From Q2.
From Q2 recently has been launched.
Yes,
so
Q2,
3, 4, 5, 6.
All the Qs.
And 8.
Yes. Best performance is Q5. But this, of course, changes year by year.
Depends on markets.
It depends on the market and depends also what kind of models are just being introduced. Yeah,
okay. So Q3 now expecting to get more sales because it has all the new, latest infotainment system, latest design. Kuwait market.
Yeah.
What's the best performing model?
We have, in general terms speaking, the Q models are always
in all the regions.
In all the regions are very strong.
Except in Jordan.
Yeah, in Jordan.
In Jordan. How is the dealer in Jordan, by the way?
The dealer in Jordan.
Still with Nukul or still with Nukul family?
Yeah, still with them. And we have, because of the geopolitical situation, I was not able to travel there so far. So we are thinking now that we are meeting here. So Jordan is still selling. It's still ticking over.
Electric more?
Electric, yeah.
Electric.
Of course, electric.
It makes more sense.
Yeah, electric is it makes sense because
it makes sense, of course, yeah, compared
in the market,
because it's zero customs,
yes.
Zero taxable. So for anyone who's aiming to purchase a new car, it makes perfect sense. And I wanted you to visit Jordan. Actually, you have to go there and check out the amount of electrifications taking place in the roads. Like, you will be really surprised with the amount of EVs all over Jordan. It became similar to Norway, somehow.
Yes.
So that's with Jordan. Going back to RS cars. RS cars are actually the S lineup. Last year we did 2 stories, 2 videos, beautiful videos around a special trim that has been launched especially for the Saudi market. It was the Kingdom Edition. It was the celebration of the National Day. We've seen something similar, I think, in UAE has been launched. I want to hear it more from you, like these, do you call it like bespoke editions from Audi introduced to its customers with the limited editions? How do you view this this way of thinking?
It comes again from the beginning. What I said with the customer, that the customers are
relation
and customer relation, but the customers are also a little bit different within the countries. So we did editions in the Kingdom Edition in Saudi. We had an edition here in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi. We also had an edition in Qatar. These editions are very bespoke, very individualized, and individualized for the country, and in very limited.
It will be
limited and very limited.
Do you like held designers? Do they visit the country and understand color scheme? Like, do they go into digging deep into the roots to get these designs elements?
Yes. So we have actually within our team here in the Middle East, we have specialists. A specialist. He's a specialist for Audi Sport, but also for exclusive. And we call the part exclusive. And within the individualization and the exclusive part, we have actually this expert, and he would travel to the markets. Also, if you want to, for example, if you want to have a complete bespoke vehicle,
he will walk you through.
He will walk you through. You would change.
I want this special
all the colors. You
different.
can do whatever you like.
Like this is only for VIPs.
Yes.
In a way or another.
Yes. So,
how do you view the future of this bespoke design office or house? There's Range Rover, they call it a house. Rolls-Royce, they call it a house. Like certain brands, they call it a specific name. Like this guy and his office, they're like representing the brand. How do you call them? And is it something like, how do you view in the future more customization, more these 1 out of 1 editions from Audis?
Yeah. So maybe I go a little bit back also to my history.
Please.
I was working in Germany at the time. It was Quattro, but it's called Audi Sport now.
Yeah.
And Audi Sport is responsible for Audi Sport, for the models, but also for exclusive and individualization. And you could actually you can fly to Germany, and in Germany we have a special house, more or less. It's a forum, we call it forum, and you can individualize your car there. That means you can have a complete bespoke product.
1 out of 1.
1 out of 1.
Like this is something only me, I will own it.
Exactly. And we had actually customers flying from all over the world to this place. It's in Germany. Yeah, it's a factory, at the factory.
Here in Dubai or in GCC, you don't think it's a good idea to have such an office?
Yes. So we have what we have is the person at the office
who will do the meetings, interviews.
Do this, and then, but we can offer to any customer that we will fly him to
Germany.
No problem.
Okay. To do his own customization. Renee, it was really my great pleasure chit-chatting with you today. I know it's a lovely evening here at the Museum of Future, guys, with all these sphere cars. You have to be here, have a look at the car, have a look at this museum. It has an amazing glimpse of the future. Anyone who's visiting UAE recently, anyone who's planning to visit UAE, I highly recommend you to come, see Audi car, look around in the museum itself. Renee, it was my great pleasure meeting you here today. We'll come back to Dubai. I'm personally looking forward to have more interviews to come along, I think with more launches, more expansions, and more spheres coming over also as well. So definitely we need to arrange for another interview. Definitely we need to come up with another reasoning while we're meeting each other and recording more things about Audi. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you so much.
My great pleasure.
Thank you.
أفخم متابعين برنامج دردشة بزنس، شفتوا معي بالحلقة هاي. أتمنى هيك نكون أعطيناكم عشاق العلامة التجارية أودي. إن شاء الله أتمنى أن أعطيتكم هيك نظرة شمولية مع رينيه، ما قصر معنا بالمعلومات. إن شاء الله هيك أعطتكم إيحاءات على مستقبل شركة أودي، وأنا فعلا وصدقا بنصحكم تيجي تشوفوا السفيرز، أو حتى هلا رح نعرض لكم صور لهم ورح نعمل لكم عليهم أكثر من كليب بننزلهم عندنا على صفحتنا على السوشيال ميديا. وبدي أذكركم إحنا كثير تنشطنا على اللينكد إن، بدنا كمان فولو منكم تتكرموا علينا، بننزل المقابلات هاي اول باول وبنكتب عنها هيك كلام جميل على اللينكد ان، فبدي دعمكم كمان على صفحتي على اللينكد ان. شكرا لكم، شكرا لمتابعتكم، السلام عليكم.